in this video, I would like to discuss about the strategy for geography. And in fact, you cannot study geography and environment separately, environmental issues. So, even though we are dealing environmental issues separately, so my primary focus will be on geography. In fact, if you look at the general studies syllabus and if you see the previous year questions, you can identify that this is the most important area without which you cannot proceed. A good understanding, a good knowledge of geography can be, can be the difference between success and failure in civil service exam, I would like to say. And such an important area, and many of us are really scared of it, maybe because of the lack of understanding and knowledge about the whole subject. See, in our schools, especially, there is hardly any geography teacher. Our geography is taught by political science teachers, geography taught by history teachers. So, without having that basic understanding and knowledge, if somebody teaches you geography, naturally it is going to be troublesome. You might not be having the right kind of understanding, and we need to develop it because it is very interesting, it is a bit factual and it is a bit conceptual, and it is a combination of, see, this is a real a topic or area where your factual information and conceptual knowledge, both are equally important and you can really score well. Only thing is that we need to keep away your fears in your mind. If you are afraid and if you start saying that I am afraid of the subject, I don't know what will happen, then things will go wrong. But I can assure you, this can be the best subject for you, the most, it can be your strength, provided you approach the subject in the right spirit, which is important for both preliminary and main exam. In fact, not only this, in fact, according to many experts, a successful civil servant, if you become IAS and IPS, if you want to be really successful, and it has been found that by the studies conducted by the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy and all, it has found that the students or rather the IAS probationers or IPS probationers with geography or history as their background or rather a firm footing in geography or history are ultimately proving to be better civil servants. So, those who have a good understanding of geography, good understanding of history can ultimately prove to be better civil servants also. In your career also it will be useful. It is not just about this exam, even for your career as an IAS or an IPS officer. So, very exciting area. I really love this geography because it helps you in understanding, you can visualize it, you can at the same time you can correlate with what is happening around us. Beautiful. So, when it comes to preliminary, what is being found preliminary exam. So, we are in fact even before that I would like to write as geography as the heading, then only I would like to write about preliminary and main exam geography. So, in the preliminary exam, and if you look at the trend before and maybe even before, say before 2015, we could see even 15, 20, 25 questions from geography. There are years when more than 20 questions in geography, then plus environment. So, you both put together 35 questions, 37 questions, there are years like that also. But of late, in the last 3-4 years, what we have found is the number of questions from geography in preliminary exam has come down. So, 8 to 10 questions right now. I will come to that elaborately. But if you club with environment, because you cannot study environment without geography, biogeography, and then only environment and all will come. See, the whole understanding of environment and environmental issues, environmental problem, climate change, anything you talk in that side, the base and foundation is in geography. So, these days environment related questions, it means 13 to 15 questions on an average, it may be 16, 17, 18 also. So, if you put together geography and environment put together and environmental issues, we can safely conclude even today that a minimum of 25 questions. So, a minimum of 25 questions. 1/4 out of 100 we are talking about 25 questions, geography and environment put together. Geography alone in preliminary point of view, maybe I will say 8 to 10 right now, but any day, any time it can bounce, because you cannot ignore geography for a long time. UPSC might be deliberately avoiding a couple of questions in preliminary only so that they can ask more questions from other areas, but I am very sure or reasonably sure that in the coming years once again the number of questions in pure geography also will increase, maybe at least 15 questions. So, you have to prepare something geography and environment as a, if you club together, I will say 25 to 35 questions can come, even 1/3 of the questions can be geography and environment. That is not very, that is substantial, that is very, very important. And when it comes to the main exam, again, so in the preliminary, so this can be there in the main exam, in paper 1 alone, we are finding that in the last many years, 100 marks worth questions are from geography, 100 out of 250. Even more than the number of questions which are asked from history. See, when you study history, it's very elaborate, very large, very, you just see, we have to study art and culture, we have to study, what you call world history, we have to study the modern history from mid 18th century, 1750 onwards. Then there is a freedom struggle, post-independence history. So, it's quite elaborate. But we don't get normally 100 marks worth questions from history. But geography, see, I am not saying that history is less important or anything. Please don't take it that way. I am only saying, even if you look at a syllabus, it looks very small. But the number of questions are very high. 100 marks. It is not small. 8 questions. 4 questions of 10 marks each. So, that becomes 40. Then 4 questions of 15 marks, that becomes 60. So, total 100 marks. That is in paper 1 alone. Then if you look at the paper 2, paper 3 also. Paper 1 is where the history, geography and social issues and all. Even in paper 3, where a lot of questions related to Indian geography, agriculture, industry, again at least 50 to 60 marks worth in paper 3. So, in the main exam, we are talking about 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 3 put together. I am not even counting environment in this. I am not counting environment questions. If you add environment, another 40 marks. It becomes 200 marks. If you are adding geography and environment, then I am talking about 200 marks. Paper 1 100 marks, paper 3 100 marks, geography and environment, agriculture, industry, all those aspects put together. Of course, there are some areas in paper 3, I will come to that, which are overlapping with economics. Naturally, agriculture can be termed as a part of economics also, it can be termed as part of geography also. So, but so that's agriculture, geography is there. So, anyway, so we are talking about 200 marks if you are counting with environment, but otherwise 50 to 60 marks. So, 160 marks in the main exam. Preliminary exam may be 10. So, please don't think that the geography is a weightage has gone down or anything, nothing. Still there. Only thing is that in the preliminary exam they have reduced a few questions to accommodate other areas. It is not because geography's importance has come down. So, if you look at the syllabus, in preliminary what is written? In preliminary exam, it is said that Indian and world geography, physical, social, economic geography. Okay. So, physical, social and economic geography. So, it includes everything of the world and India. So, both of India and the world. So, you have to study the entire physical geography of India the Himalayas, the peninsula, the plateau, the plains, the rivers, everything. So, physical geography, the forest, everything will come. Social and economic geography of India and the world. Then, so first part is that. Second part says general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change. So, you can say it is environment, but biodiversity is geography. Climate change, it is geography. Climate change that do not require subject specialization. That is what is mentioned. You don't require subject specialization. So, environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change, etc. all mentioned. See, when it is mentioned that physical geography includes everything. Social geography, economic geography of India and the world. That sentence is sufficient so that it covers almost everything. So, that is what is mentioned in the preliminary exam. Now, coming to the main exam. So, very specific points are mentioned. The main exam, see again, please remember, main exam is intended not rather than mere range of information memory. It says it is overall intellectual traits and depth of understanding of the candidates. Your overall traits and depth of understanding is tested rather than merely the range of their information. So, but again, the questions are such that a well educated person will be able to answer them without any specialized study. Then again, this is to test the candidate's general awareness of a variety of subjects, and most importantly, I always mention this in every discussion. I say this, to test the candidate's basic understanding of all relevant issues, ability to analyze and to take a view on conflicting socioeconomic goals, objectives and demands. To take a view on conflicting socio-economic goals, conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives and demands. So, your view on the conflicting socio-economic goals, what is your opinion? I am repeating, in every video I say this. Whether it is international relation, whether it is Indian constitution and polity, whether it is economy, whether it is science and tech, whether it is social issues, your view, this is what we will help you. This whole program, the whole course is to help you in developing this view, the right view, the correct view, which you can tell in the exam or which you can write in the exam and tell during the interview. I am always worried about what will you speak in the interview. Because we are not talking about how to clear preliminary or only to clear preliminary. We need preliminary, we need main exam, but the ultimate thing is you have to reach the interview board. We are there to support you. These opinions, these ideas, these your view, we will help you in developing your view on conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives and demands. So, your candidates must give relevant, meaningful and succinct answers. Relevant, meaningful, crisp, to the point answers. That is what is expected. So, in geography, in paper 1, let us see, and even in the social issues, now there are specifically, now let me just talk about what are mentioned in the syllabus which you have to study. First of all, some of the issues which look like social issues, again part of geography. Human geography, for example, population and associated issues. See, specifically mentioned population and associated issues. See, you can say it is part of your society, Indian society, but in geography, the demographics, we study it elaborately. We study about the population density, the literacy level, all those aspects, the sex ratio, dependency ratio, like this. So, population associated issues, poverty, anyway, it's an economic issue, I am not getting into that. Then urbanization, their problems and their remedies. urbanization, problems, remedies. You see, entire aspects of the million plus cities, the slums, the problems of the urban centers, the transportation issue, the congestion, crime, the problem, the migration to the urban centers, the landless laborers, or now you see the reverse migration after the corona pandemic. So, urbanization, their problems and remedies, very important, it is mentioned in paper 1. Then when it comes to the, you may say this is part of social issues, but yes, we will be studying as part of geography, very important, we cannot ignore this. Then comes, the specific geography portion in paper 1. It talks about salient features of world's physical geography. Salient features of world's physical geography. So, not about the Indian geography we are talking about, we are asked to study the world's physical geography, salient features. Then distribution of key natural resources of the world, distribution of natural resources. See, now distribution of natural resources can be even water, fresh water, drinking water, it can be oil, it can be coal, it can be iron ore, major ones. See, there is no end to study all those things. We can keep on studying, at least 4 or 5 of them, oil, water, coal, iron ore, maybe aluminum, the important ones. The industrialized, the iron and steel industry, or the industrial hubs. Why is it there? The way it is there. So, the distribution of key natural resources across the world, and special focus on Indian subcontinent, no doubt regarding that. So, salient features of the world's physical geography, distribution of natural resources, especially oil, gas, coal, all are very important for us. Then factors responsible for localization of primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries. Okay. So, factors for localization of industry. Factors for localization of industry. So, it includes primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector, factors responsible for this. So, that is clearly mentioned, but see these two, what I have found is not many questions are asked. I mean, it is quite vast also. So, we may have to restrict ourselves in these two areas a bit, because there is no end to asking questions, but still generally the number of questions are comparatively less. But the next portion, what is mentioned, important geophysical phenomena, very important, important geophysical phenomena. So, what is the geophysical phenomena? It likes, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, they are mentioned also. It can be landslide. So, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunami, tsunami, then maybe cyclone. We are this Indian, especially the Bay of Bengal region, a series of cyclones every year. So, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunami, cyclone, landslides, all important and whichever has happened in a particular year, all the more important geophysical phenomena. Then geographical features and their location, another broad heading, geographical features and their location, various features like maybe mountain system, the plains, the plateau, any geographical feature we can say, general again, and then changes in critical geographical features, water bodies, ice caps, the climate change thing is coming, the changes in critical geographical features, changes in water bodies, ice caps, then in flora, fauna, in in the animal life, in the plant life, and its effects, its changes. Just see. So, this covers almost everything. The geography related, what we study in even a geography option student. Many of these things are, I mean, in a very, in a summary way it is mentioned. So, it covers the changes in water bodies, in flora, fauna, in ice caps. So, everything related to the climate change, the changes also, then geographical features, then the geophysical phenomena, right. So, it is quite vast. We need to, cover it very carefully. Distribution of natural resources, water, oil, everything, salient features of the world's physical geography. So, nothing is left here, and Indian aspects are anyway coming into picture automatically. So, this is what is in paper 1, and from this area, that is what I said, 100 marks worth questions are being asked in the main exam, not 1 or 2 marks, 4 questions, 8 questions are asked. Out of 20 which you are going to answer, 8 are from geography in paper 1. If you study well, we can really score very good marks, and with less quantity of information, I think we can score more. I am just talking in comparison with history, because history's quantity will be more, but less number of questions than geography in paper 1. Then paper 4 is paper 3 is equally important, and it is especially about the Indian geography part, paper 3 of GS. First of all, major crops, agriculture related. See, because we study crops, everything in geography. So, major crops, pattern, distribution, then irrigation and irrigation systems, irrigation, tank irrigation, well irrigation, canal irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, micro irrigation. So, all different types of irrigation, irrigation systems, how is it going on. Then storage and agricultural produce, marketing, okay. Storage and marketing of agricultural produce. So, very important, because unfortunately in our country, as you know very well, the farmers are not able to get the right kind of prices because of various bottlenecks in storage, transportation, marketing, everywhere. Farmers are struggling, and even the consumer pays a very high, the middleman takes everything. So, this part of agriculture, crops, irrigation, marketing, storage, etc. That is one area. Another area is about economics of animal rearing. Economics of animal rearing. Then food processing related and related industries in India, food processing. Food processing, scope, significance, location, everything related to supply chain management, food processing. So, animal husbandry, animal rearing, the cattle, the sheep, okay, the cows, buffaloes, everything, animal rearing, economics of animal, the poultry farms, everything, okay, animal rearing. So, crops, irrigation, storage, marketing, economics of animal rearing, then food processing industry, which is a problem, which is the solution to the problems of India also. So, this is about agriculture and allied activities. In paper 3 I am talking. Then infrastructure, another area which is again geography, like energy, ports, infrastructure in terms of energy, ports, roads, airport. See, that means energy production, HEP, hydroelectric, coal-based power plants, hydroelectric power plants, nuclear power plants, port, road, airways, railways. So, all aspects of that. Then, of course, conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, that can be talked in environment separately. So, we are talking about environment once again. In paper 1 also we talked about environment, the climate change and all, the changes in the water bodies, ice caps, that is in paper 1. Now, once again, conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, disaster management. So, this will come again. So, these without environment and disaster management, I am talking about another 60 marks. 50 to 60 marks we can easily say, at least 2 questions each 4 questions, 2 questions of 10 marks, 2 questions of 15 marks. So that becomes 50 marks automatically. Sometimes it is more than that. So this is how the syllabus is mentioned. So there is what I can say, almost everything is mentioned in various forms, either in paper 1 or in paper 4, paper 3, and in preliminary it is physical, economic, social. The moment you mention that of India and the world, everything in geography will automatically come into picture. So we cannot, so sometimes people may mistake the syllabus as if not enough is written about geography, but you see the number of questions, 160, 170 marks from geography. So geography is the most important area, we can say, in the whole GS. Then geography and environment put together, definitely. So it's huge, 200 marks in main exam, 25 to 30 marks in preliminary if geography and environment put together. So I will say this is definitely huge, and we need to do it very systematically. We have to study very, very carefully, and we cannot give up on this. And as I was, now let me come to the preliminary and the main exam, the trend analysis. Let me just put it this way. For prelim, I am repeating, geography, the last 4 or 5 years, 8 to 10 questions. This is geography. Environment, 13 to 15 questions. On an average, I am talking. I am not specifically talking about a particular year. Then main exam, paper 1, 100 marks. Paper 3, 50 marks minimum. I am not counting the environment and disaster management and all. If you add that, it will become 200. So that is something very, very, we cannot divide geography and environment separately. Okay. So that is the situation as far as the number of questions and importance of this geography part is concerned. Then let us come to the source, what to read and how to study, how to go about the source and the preparation, the books to be read. See, first of all, see, NCERT books are the best when it comes to geography. That will give you the real foundation. And in fact, in many cases, the information given in NCERT books are more than sufficient. If you study thoroughly with understanding, we may not have to do much, but except maybe in some portion that in ICSE book also. Again, 12th book. See, now that means what? We need to know only what is known to a 12th class geography student. We don't have to do more than that. So first of all, we have to begin with NCERT, no doubt regarding this. And most of the preparation is based on NCERT only. And in this NCERT, one important thing is the old NCERT, especially the 6th, 7th and 8th old, the land and people series, land and people series, that is very interesting and very interesting to read also, and photocopies are available. The old NCERT is not available in the market. This is very interesting and it can be used for your especially for the world geography part. I will come to that distinction and all, how do we do. So NCERT can be of grade 6th, 7th old series, very important. Otherwise, we will be focusing on 9th NCERT Contemporary India, part 1. Contemporary India, part 1, and 10th NCERT, again Contemporary India, part 2. So a good foundation in 9th and 10th standard for India. Then 11th and 12th are the key. It is a bit tough also. It's not that NCERT, so you can easily manage. No. 11th, it is fundamental of physical geography. 11th, physical geography. And then India physical in 11th, India physical environment, okay, Indian physical environment. So 2 books in 11th, Indian physical environment. Then 12th, we have fundamentals of human geography. So, fundamentals of physical geography in paper 1, sorry in 11, then fundamentals of human geography. So, human geography book of 12th, and then again 12th India, people and economy. Again there is an India book. So, there is a physical geography book in both the years, physical geography in 11th standard and about Indian physical environment. Then in 12th it is more of human geography in both, very important. And then I would like you to read and procure, very important, this Go Cheng Leong. That is our certificate physical and human geography of ICSE book of 11th and 12th, more than sufficient. Then you need, so all these NCERT, Go Cheng Leong, then I would like to prescribe one atlas, school atlas, maybe any of the Oxford or Orient Black Swan or anything. So, one atlas is a must, and the rest we will be able to help you through our in the ALS books, the classes, class material, more than sufficient. You need not have to search anywhere. We will help you, and then some current developments it is important. So, I have given an elaborate list, and now first point I would like to say here is, don't be scared about the book list. Okay, it's very simple. It's interesting. You can easily manage. It looks like big for the beginners. See, a solid foundation, if you start from land and people, very interesting to read, very interesting to understand, and no confusion whatsoever, very easy. So, don't be scared about the book list. Start one by one. First you do the old NCERT, the land and people 6, 7, 8, then we will start from 9, 10th. Systematically let us go. Then, and one very important thing is, questions are not coming from outside. This is the foundation. If you know the base, if you have conceptual clarity, if you understand what is written there, you have made it. There is no doubt. Very easy to manage. Then we need repeated revision. Please don't forget this, because one reading and all, you will not be able to retain it. Lot of facts and concepts, it's a combined thing. So, without this, so for whether it is preliminary, whether it is mains, you need to have repeated revision, and you need to have good foundation, meaning good understanding, that the basics should be correct, basic information or basic knowledge should be correct. You cannot have wrong understanding of the problem. And then you have to use facts also. You have to use facts. Again, you cannot have wrong facts in your head. So, we need repeated revision and understanding. That is what, and many a times conceptual questions are asked in preliminary also. Sometimes it can be straightforward from the map question. So, a lot of conceptual questions are asked, fact based questions are asked, map based questions are asked. So, all the three, concept, then facts, then even memory, sheer memory, the map based, the location of a particular maybe country, or which are the neighbors of that country. In Southwest Asia, which of the countries are open, they have exit to Mediterranean Sea. So, like these questions are asked recently also. So, we have concept based, fact based, then map based. So, you need to always, whenever you study geography, you always keep your atlas ready. Any place, any location, please locate, please see that. That habit should be there, so that that memory, that it should be the very site, that photo memory should be there, photographic memory we can say. So, always keep your atlas with you whenever you study geography, so that you can have a photographic memory. Even it may be current related also. Recently there was a question, Golan Heights, I still remember. Golan Heights is in Syria, the Israel captured region. So, where is it located? Whether it is Central Asia, the answer 4 options were very simple. Whether it is located in Central Asia, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Africa, like that. So, it can be linked to the current affairs also. So, always whenever you see something, some incident, some event, some news about a particular in a place, please locate it in your atlas, okay, very important for you. And these are very easy. So, many a times especially in preliminary, these places in news, you have to see a couple of times in the atlas, you will definitely get it. Then river systems, preliminary I am talking, okay, river system, especially in India, it is very important. Then national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, then minerals, ores, the location of the minerals, ores, hydroelectric power projects, right. Then anything related to climate, climate is very important, okay. Then related to issues related to climate, where was the the location where cyclone hit or the earthquake hit and all those things. So, keep doing all these things, very, very important, and that is how we can manage. So, I am talking about preliminary, these are very important, and even then let me say a couple of things about the last, so the say especially about the trend, let me just do a small trend analysis also. Trends in 2019, what happened in 2019, first thing you can say is, earlier it used to be, last 3-4 years we can say, the geography questions are less than 10 right now, but this may not be a permanent phenomena, it may bounce back any time. So, we need not be, you should not give up, because but when it comes to main exam, 100 marks in paper 1, 50 marks minimum in paper 3, adding with environment and disaster management is almost 100 marks. So, we need to be prepared for geography in a big way, number 1. Then map based questions are asked. Map based questions are very important, that means you need lot of map study. Okay. For example, there was a question a couple of years before, if you are travelling from Kohima to Kottayam in Kerala, how many states you have to cross? Kohima to Kottayam, how many states you will have to cross? See, unless you have a good understanding of map, you will not be able to, you cannot anticipate such questions. And which of this following are geographically closest to Great Nicobar? Okay, Great Nicobar Island, 4 options were given. So, again map based, which is closest to Great Nicobar out of the 4, or which of the cities are lying along on the same longitude as that of Delhi, cities lying in the same longitude of that of Delhi. So, that means you need to have good understanding of map. So, a lot of map based questions, it may look a bit complex also. So, you need to do lot of map. So, whenever you study something, whenever you read NCERT also, for geography, keep the atlas in ready, any place, any location mentioned, you please see in the atlas. Then many a times the tributaries of rivers and all, even small tributaries are asked now, rivers and tributaries are very important. Repeatedly, rivers and tributaries related questions are being asked, and also questions related to tribal communities, location of the tribal community, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, the name of a tribal community is given and in which state they are found. So, related to the human geography part. Okay. Then in the world, especially the West Asia, where the problematic regions, the repeated questions from in a Middle East, Mediterranean region, Iraq, Syria, the Israel, Palestine, the Yemen, all are the problematic regions. So, all the contemporary issues, you have to be very, very careful, because questions are being repeatedly asked. So, you need to have, as I said, conceptual clarity in the first place, facts, You need to memorize facts. We cannot leave it. We will be teaching you, that is okay. Map based understanding, photographic memory. Map, read, repeatedly read and memorize. Okay, this is located here. So, in eastern side of a city, western side of a city, Delhi. Suppose you say Delhi. Now, Jaipur is in the west, east, Lucknow. So, Chandigarh. So, like this, you have to have that, that mental map. You should be able to photographic memory about various places. So, you need to do a lot of repeated revision in this. And when it comes to the main exam, see now as I said 8 questions, 100 marks in paper 1. So, it is not that less, and each and every area, okay, and in the syllabus the way it is mentioned. So, now let me see some of the questions, say in 2019 main exam. So, I am talking about paper 1, the impact of global warming on coral life system, coral reefs. So, global warming on what will happen to the coral reefs, coral life, coral bleaching, the killing, the death of the corals, we have to talk about that. So, the impact of global warming on coral life system. Then depletion of mangrove forests, see again about the mangroves, depletion. And how explain the importance in maintaining the coastal ecology. So, when a tsunami or a cyclone comes, how mangroves can protect our lives. Even this year in the West Bengal cyclone, wherever the mangroves are very strong or rather it is not been destroyed, the impact is very less. So, about mangroves. Then a third question, the the regional resource based manufacturing. Question was on regional resource based manufacturing in India. And how can it help in promoting employment in India? That is the question. So, regional resource. So, you have to give some examples. Say a regional resource, say iron ore, maybe or maybe coal. How is helping in developing manufacturing and employment in that region. Then discuss the factors for localization, agro-based food processing. Again, what is supposed to be asked in paper 2, we are asked in paper 1 also. That is another big problem. So, sometimes what we thought what can be asked in paper 3 will be asked in paper 1 itself. Similarly, what is water stress? See, water related, another question, water stress. And how and why does it differ regionally in India? And another question is, how can the mountain ecosystem be restored from the restored from the negative effects of tourism? What are the issues of mountain ecosystem and tourism? Another question. Then about the mass transport system, rapid in the cities. Then ocean currents, a question on ocean currents. So, the geophysical, just see the ocean currents, the physical aspects of how it is asked, how ocean currents and water masses differ in their impact on marine life and coastal environment. Okay. So, the syllabus, just again I am just coming back to the syllabus. The syllabus says the salient features of world's physical geography. So, physical geography you can talk about including coral reefs, mangroves, but they are talking about the destruction, the changes in that. So, changes part, then distribution of key natural resources and how regional resource based manufacturing can help in what you call employment. Then factors, the important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, that is what. So, then here the question is, of course, the water stress it is asked, the changes in the water level and things like that, the drought issue, then changes in the critical geographical features, water bodies, ice caps, flora, fauna, that is what. So, what is mentioned and questions are asked. Then let us come to paper 3. Just see, just for an understanding, how far is integrated farming system helpful for sustainable agriculture. So, crops, irrigation, that is what in paper 3. So, integrated farming system, integrated farm system or farming system. Similarly, elaborate the impact of National Watershed Project, water and irrigation, National Watershed Project. For agriculture, irrigation. Then they asked, what was India, how was India benefited from Vishwesvaraya and M.S. Swaminathan in the field of water engineering, agriculture science? Okay, a bit specific, but otherwise, what are the reformative steps taken by the government to make food grain distribution system more effective? The distribution of food grain distribution, the public distribution system, PDS, everything. Elaborate the policy taken by the government to India to make challenges of food processing sector, food processing. So, you just see food processing sector, the question on food processing. 5 questions were asked. Then similarly, in 2018, okay, in 2018, question like, why is India taking keen interest in Arctic region? The Arctic region, the issues related to Arctic region, the oil and natural gas wealth there, the melting of the ice and the navigation which is possible about Arctic region. Plate tectonics, define mantle plume and explain the role, its role in plate tectonics. You see the plate tectonics question. Then what are the consequences of spreading dead zones in marine ecosystem? Dead zones in marine ecosystem. Dead zones in marine ecosystem. And the ideal solution of depleting groundwater, again question is on water harvesting and depleting water resource. Then defining blue revolution. What is blue revolution? See, the way the syllabus is given, sometimes, now what we can see here is, blue revolution we expect question in paper 3, but question is asked in paper 1. So, some of the topics which are mentioned in paper 3's questions are coming in paper 1, but all related to geography, the economic geography, physical geography or human geography, whatever you want to say, agricultural geography we can say. So, we have questions on, and then industrial corridors, significance of industrial corridors. Then mention the core strategies for transformation of aspirational districts. Okay, that is anyway backward district question, that is the current affairs question. But still, you see, these are all we can easily manage, and even in the paper 3, like access to affordable, reliable and sustainable and modern energy is for sustainable development goals, to achieve sustainable development goals. Another is about wetland. What is a wetland? Paper 3. And Ramsar Convention in India. Then Sikkim is the first organic state. What do you mean by organic farming? Okay, benefits of organic farming and organic state. Then assess the National Horticulture Mission. National Horticulture Mission. See, now it's very clear. Geography, every topic or every major heading mentioned in the syllabus, questions are asked. I am repeating, if you look at the syllabus, population and issues, urbanization, their problems and remedies, salient features of world geography, distribution of key natural resources, then very importantly, important geophysical phenomena like earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, etc. Then geographical features like changes in critical geographical features like water bodies, ice caps, flora, fauna, then major cropping pattern, crop, agriculture, irrigation, storage, transportation, marketing of agricultural produce, animal husbandry, food processing, then major infrastructure like energy, port, road, airways, railways. The way it is mentioned, we will have to study. So, all I am trying to tell you is, we can, and some current related is there, but more of static understanding, deeper understanding. My only promise is, our classes are so enriching, so engaging, and we will ensure that you will understand each and every concept in geography. Those who could not understand anything in geography till now, or those who are very weak in geography, what you say, I will ensure, I will prove that geography can be your strength, because we have a very very, I will say, strategically planned or other topics identified such a way that you can understand each and every area. That is my guarantee, and questions will come, and we will not leave any area unattended. It may look very vast, but we will make it simple for you. We will ensure that questions are being asked and you are able to answer. All we expect from you is do these NCERTs. Please do at least one round till the classes are there. Please try, and please try to read these NCERTs. I said 6th, 7th, 8th, the Land and People series, the old series, 9th onward, the new NCERTs are available in the market, very easy to procure. And Gocheng Leong, one atlas. The rest we will handle. It's not difficult. It's very interesting, and you can be a very successful IAS officer with geography, good understanding of geography, geographical location. Very important to be a successful officer, not just successful in getting through the exam, even to become a successful officer. So that is why geography is very important, and closely related to geography is environment. Preliminary geography alone in the last 3-4 years, 8 to 10 questions. You can easily expect even 15. Environment also, if you put together, 25 to 30 questions. Main exam, paper 1, 100 marks. Paper 3, 50 to 60 marks from geography alone, and another 40 marks from environment and disaster management. And then to be successful as a successful officer, geographic understanding will really help. So it is a very interesting area, a bit of science, a bit of facts, conceptual clarity. So we need conceptual clarity, we need facts, we need some map, reading and memory, all the three. Exciting time, and we will help you in molding the answers, 150 words, 200, 250 words, manageable. Facts and figures we will provide. Very exciting, and I am looking forward to take and teach you the real geography which is required for civil service exam. And I will be covering the world geography part, the general geography part, and Manish will be covering the Indian geography part. It will be very exciting, Indian geography and agriculture and transport, all those aspects Manish will be covering. So we have an elaborate plan, and it is a complete package, and geography will be very exciting for you. I am looking forward to meet you in those geography classes.